figure it out. You work hard, and my goal was to get out of East Boston, and nothing's wrong with East Boston. It's transferring, but I wanted to do better. I wanted to provide for my children what I didn't have, and that was really, really, really important to me.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my why. You look at yourself
understand.
and you say, "What's your why?" My why was my family that I was going to have, right? So.
Yep. I have my good friend Shannon DiPietro on this episode of the podcast, and man, was it awesome. Everybody thinks Shannon's just this big real estate agent from town, but we got to learn the backstory, how she grew up, where she's from, the journey all the way from the beginning to where she is today with the DiPietro Group, her new company that she just opened in Windham. Enjoy the show. All right, here we are on another episode of The Mic Drop, powered by Premier Mortgage Lending, with my good friend, Shannon DiPietro. Welcome, Shannon.
Thank you, Mike.
So Shannon's got a whole bunch of good stuff going on. You just opened up your own place.
I did.
Right?
I did, yeah.
And it's called?
So I'm super excited, DiPietro Group Real Estate. So it's been a long time coming. Many of you know I was a partner at Coco Rowley & Associates for, I think it was like 7 years, right? And I formed the DiPietro Group team. And then from there, we're on our own now. We're super excited as of like January 6th. So big happenings coming, new developments, new construction, grand opening. That should be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about all of it, but
All
let's
of
do
it.
this first. Let's talk about kind of where it all started.
Yep.
I know when we had you on the podcast a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was with you and
The team, couple of the teammates, yeah.
Christine and maybe Nicole.
Nicole.
I think.
Yep.
But I want to talk a little bit more about you, right? Because you've done some pretty impressive things in real estate and kind of in your life as a whole. And I can speak to that because I've known you for a long time now.
Yeah.
I know about, kind of your history and, your family has kind of become, for those of you who don't know this, almost like my family now too. Rocco works here with me. Both of your girls have watched my kids. Their whole family is very close. And you've got a great family. You've got a great family.
You as well. I mean, I do think too, how long have we been friends since you really getting...
A while.
Which you've, congratulations, have
7,
made great
8
headway.
years, 9 years. I don't know. It's been a while now.
Yeah.
And yeah, what's funny is I started out a long time before that, but I didn't really catch my stride for like years and years in. It's when I finally figured it out. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's what it takes. You know what I mean? Kind of figuring out and adjusting. Let's talk about kind of where you started.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Like really where you started.
Really started.
Really where you started. Because I think the journey is very important for people to hear and understand. Yeah. They just think, so many people think all these fucking things that they don't even know really anything about somebody, but make assumptions.
Oh, yeah. So even in this industry, everyone always says, oh, it's just luck, it's this, it's that. It's hard work. It's figuring it, like you said, figuring out, but what is it? Are you willing to go the extra mile day in, day out, or figuring out new ways, not settling for just what everybody else is doing, always challenging yourself, which is like so fun with any events we're doing, or what is a new way to do something, or where are we going, how do you do stuff? And then you figure everyone else follows along. It always happens, right? You got to be the first one out, and then everyone follows along. But I also think it's being true to yourself and being true to the people. Like we were talking earlier about being self-promoting. I think in this industry, everybody's so self-promoting, saying how great they are. Well, they really should look at who the people that they're supporting. Those are the great people. That's who's making us great. You surround yourself by greatness, right?
Yeah. How can we help you?
Yes.
Like that's been our pitch here to real estate agents for a long time, right? How can we help you grow? If we can help you grow, we'll do better. Same thing with the clients. How can we help make the process easier for you? How can we help you sell your house or help you buy a house? That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Not I am the best real estate agent.
And I think working together.
Yeah.
It's really about growing each other, growing that business together. It makes it more fun and more interesting anyway, and more meaningful.
It sure does.
It really does.
Absolutely. So we're going back to the beginning.
We'll go backwards. So
where'd you grow up?
East Boston.
Okay.
So here we go. So everyone looks at you. She's lucky. I grew up in East Boston. Single mom, young sister, 900 square foot apartment, and East Boston High School. Worked my ass off for years. After school, I had a job at Liberty Mutual. I never did anything. Then I went to Fidelity. And I don't mean to say this because it's like you feel boo-hoo.
It's not
it's
boo-hoo.
more
it's important, though.
Like you figure it out. You work hard, and my goal was to get out of East Boston, and nothing's wrong with East Boston. It's transferring, but I wanted to do better. I wanted to provide for my children what I didn't have, and that was really, really, really important to me.
Yeah, I mean,
That's my why. You know, you look
I
at yourself
understand.
and you say, what's your why? My why was my family that I was going to have, right? So,
Yep.
sorry. God.
Don't be.
Whew. So college, you know, I couldn't go to college. I was going to college, and how am I going to get there? So I look at kids, and unfortunately, I'm a really strict mom, and my kids had to go to school. There was no other way. There was no other option. They got on my path, and when they were done with my path, they can do what they want. And that was the agreement.
Right.
And I wanted to be able to give them the education. And so I joined the military to pay for my college. I had no means. And one day my mom said to me, I came home, I said, I joined the Army National Guard. And she said, why did you do that? And I said, well, I needed to pay for college. I needed to figure out a way that I could do it.
So at what age did you kind of say to yourself, I want something different, right? Because, you know, I actually grew up in a very similar situation, very similar way. Single mom, me, my mom, my sister. She did everything. My mom did everything she could for us to do the best she could, but she was a single mom. She worked multiple jobs. Yeah. And I did the same thing. I said the same thing when I was a little kid, I remember. And I was like the fucking man of the house when I was like 5. You know what I mean?
I was the man of the house when I was probably 8 when my dad left.
Yeah.
Never saw me. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not easy. That's not easy, right? But what you do is there's 2 paths you can go down in that situation. You know, people kind of say, well, fuck it. I have no opportunity. I have no chance in life. I can't do it. Or you can say, oh, no way. I'm making something different for myself.
Well, how did you go down that path? Like, what made you do that? Like, how did you look around and say, that's the path I'm going? Or how did you get on that path? Or
I wanted to be a good father. That was my only thing. You know what I mean?
Same with me.
And it wasn't even so much for me about like providing or making anything different, because although we didn't have a whole lot, we were happy. You know what I mean? Like, although we didn't have a whole lot and my mom did everything she could for us always, we were happy. You know what I mean? Like we were fine. And I didn't even it was so funny. Like, I didn't know so much about even like what other people actually had, because I just didn't know. You know what I mean? You know, which is kind of funny with, you know, the way I do some things now, you know what I mean? But I just knew that I wanted to be a good father, and I wanted to have a stable, good life for my children and my family. That's what I always knew. See, that's and I knew that from a little kid.
That's like the opposite with me. I grew up as the only single parent family, even in East Boston. Yeah. Like, my mom did, like, I went to St. Mary's School. I went to private school. I had to go to private school. I wanted to go to public so bad. I wanted to go to John Cheverus with everybody else, but no, I had to go to St. Mary's. And then from there, I went to Chelsea. I went to an all-girls Catholic high school for 1 year. That didn't go so well. And then I went to East Boston High School. She finally agreed to let me go there, and I did well. That's where I excelled, and I did well there. But I felt like, you know, I had to be able to buy my own stuff. So at 14, like, I was delivering newspapers and pizza, and oh my God, I had every job. I used to work down Faneuil Hall, and it was fun. But I think, like, all those things that bring you through life change your path, you know, and you meet people, and I always tell my kids that you meet people on the way, and I always tell my kids, be nice to the people. Like, even on vacation, you be nice to the people. You make friends, and everybody, right? And you don't know who your journey is or why you met that person, but they're there for a reason. Yeah. And whether it comes full circle or, you know, many years later, you know, I saw.
Let me ask you this. At the time when you were, because I did the same thing, right? Like, if I wanted things, I had to make money to buy it, right? Yeah. And at the time, I didn't think anything of that. You know what I mean? That was just what I did, right? And I remember it was summer after, I think, 6th grade, I got a job cleaning the middle school, right, with the janitors. I was a fucking janitor at the middle school, right? And I did that, and I really loved it. I would get my paycheck at the end of the week. Yeah. And then while I had that job, I also went and got a job working at a restaurant. I would wash the dishes. It was Saturday, Sunday morning. I had to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. Didn't think anything of it. That was just what I did. Did you feel the same way? Because a lot of people that I know that are super hard workers, it was kind of because they had to, right? And they learned that from a young age, and it was just what it was.
No, that's what I did. Even when I was in high school,
Yeah.
I went to, I said, okay, but before I was going to be an attorney, I was going to be I had sort of a mentor growing up. It was my Aunt Anna. She was an attorney. She was my godmother. We grew up, the whole family. Every Sunday we went to her mother's house and everyone was there, her cousin. I have a small family, but their family was my extended family. And so I said, I'm going to follow in her footsteps. I'm going to be an attorney. So I would go to high school. I would go to Liberty Mutual and work because I had work study. I could have graduated as a junior. And then I went to Newbury Junior College at night to start business law and English.
When you were in high school?
When I was in high school to get ahead. So that's kind of where, and then I was still working. And we were working at like Pizzeria Regina at the time, which was so fun.
Yeah.
And of course that became a competition, even that. Like I had to be the fastest cashier ringer. And then so we'd go down to Faneuil Hall when it was the big holiday weekends and would be it was the East Boston girls against the Southie girls.
That's awesome.
It's terrible.
That's awesome. No, it's great. It's great. And
we had the big East Boston jacket.
That's awesome. And like you were saying before, though, like having those jobs and doing all those things bring great life experiences. I mean, that's even why, I was talking up to my oldest son a couple days ago. I'm like, Mike, you got to get a job because you'll meet so many people. That's what I always loved about it. Like, you'd meet people you wouldn't have met otherwise, and you'll learn things. And I was always the exact same way, no matter what I did. If I was mopping floors, I'd want to mop faster than the person that was mopping the other end. If I was making pizzas, because I worked for Sal's Pizza for a bunch of years, I'd want to make the pizzas the fastest. And it's awesome. So it's no surprise that in you telling your story, that's the way it kind of started. Yeah. Because people that are successful, typically it's just because you work harder than other people.
Sometimes don't you think like, okay, can't I just go sit down? Some days I'm just like, this is like inhumanly possible, the amount of things you do in a day.
Yeah, you know what you do? You go home and sit down for a little bit. No, and that's okay. No, seriously. If you feel that way, you take a few minutes and you go sit down. And like, because I even say that in the meetings here with people, it's like if something's stressing you out or you need a break or you're exhausted or you have an emotion or you're upset about something, right? You got to feel that for a couple minutes, but just a couple minutes.
Just a couple.
Don't fucking wallow in it. Don't go sleep all day. You know what I mean? Go sit down, chill out for a little bit, or feel that emotion, and then get back to it. But I don't know about you, but I always feel better at the end of the day when I do a million things.
Yeah, you feel like you've accomplished something.
If I don't do it, if not that I really have a lot of those days, but if there's a day when I don't do a whole lot, I feel like it was a waste of a day.
Yeah, that's true.
But
you got to too fear, right? Fear holds a lot of people back, I think.
Yeah, you can't be.
And I don't think I think you're pretty much the same. You just do it. You just try it and figure it out.
Well, that's what I've said on this podcast many times and to people in life. It's like, what are you afraid of? You know what I mean? Failing? Yeah. So what? If you fail, you and the only time you ever fail is if you actually quit. You know what I mean? So what? You hit a bump along the road, something doesn't go smooth, you adjust it and fix and go in a different direction. And that's you'll always do well if you do that. So East Boston, we're at East Boston now where you grew up. Yeah. Well, not grown up, right? Because we're in high school. You're taking classes at night.
I did graduate. I graduated from high school.
Yep.
And then it was that point, I did the college thing at night. I said, what am I going to do? And that's when I said, I'm going to go join the Army. Let's go do that.
Awesome.
So we went down. I was in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I think I was there for probably a total like six months-ish. And I did, I went in with a buddy. So we my girlfriend and I went together, the two girls from East Boston. We were tortured there. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. I don't recommend it. Especially all these, I first thank everybody for their service, which applaud you and thank everybody for their service in these times. But at that time, it was for college. They did give a lot of great benefits and they did help a lot. We actually did get activated for the Gulf War, my unit.
You did?
At that time, yeah, but they wanted to disband only us and not the entire unit because I was working in intelligence, so that was a little frightening.
So you did, but you didn't.
We didn't go. No, we didn't go over. But I stayed in for 6 years. We did for 6 years, 6x2. So it paid for my college education.
What's 6x2?
6 years you say 6 years active duty, but it's on the weekends, and then 2 years you kind of just you're just in the reserve.
Right,
pool.
You're like there in case they need you and they call you back.
Yeah.
So what did you do in the 4 years?
Legal.
That you were active?
I was a legal specialist. So I
Okay.
did like intelligence work, paperwork. It was really paperwork. It was a paperwork job.
I mean, you're still in the Army.
Yeah, it was fun though. You know, but you do go down. You train Army reserves. They all train together. Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I remember they used to talk to us. Oh my God, Boston, you were a cheerleader back in the day, and you know you're marching. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? But
talk about toughness, though. You know what I mean? You probably had to be very mentally tough to get through that. Physically tough.
Oh my gosh, I was scared to death. We had to do
this.
this.
You did it.
We had to do this one thing, right? It was a wartime simulation, right? And you are the light goes off. You know oh my gosh, what's it called? You know, they light up the sky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. They light up the sky.
I know what you mean, yeah.
And you, at that point, you know that you're supposed to go. So you climb out of your bunker hole and you start crawling on your, you know, you're doing the Army crawl and you're going under barbed wire and you have your machine gun and the tracer rounds are coming over your head.
Yeah.
And the mines are going off around you. I was crying my eyes out. I was the first one on the other side. I was done. Like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That's incredible,
It was
though.
crazy stuff. It was crazy.
So what else did you do for training? Did you do a lot of like shooting, and you did all of it?
4 out of 800 women got 37 out of 40, you know, targets. So
Yeah.
you're in the prone position, and then you're in the unsupported position. So you're in the foxhole for 20 of them, and you're shooting at 500-meter targets that are up and down. And then you're on unsupported, so you have to support yourself, and you get out of it, and you do another 20. So yeah,
500 meter. That's pretty far out.
yeah,
What were you shooting?
targets.
No, like what kind of guns?
M16. Yeah,
Do
scary.
you still shoot guns at all?
No.
We should go shoot guns.
You should.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Be fun.
Yeah, that'd be wicked fun.
No, I haven't in a while. I used no, I haven't. Not the last time. We threw grenades. We
outta
repelled.
here.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Now,
Scary though.
did you ever do any of that stuff after you were in the service?
No,
like, you
well,
do
during,
like any mountain climbing, rappelling, any of that cool shit?
no, like in real life. No.
Yeah, you should.
Well, I did when my youngest Madison turned 18. I went skydiving.
Was that did you skydive when you were in the service?
No,
Yeah, because I was going to say, I don't know if that was something that you did when you were in there.
no.
I know, I remember seeing that. And Rocco went with you too, right?
He did. He did.
Did Ariana or no?
No, she couldn't come.
Yeah.
But she did it after. It was something I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I called my mother, and because I just always did crazy things. I mean, that was crazy at the time. No one did that.
Yeah.
You know, growing up, I said, I always want to do this. So I called my mother and my uncle. And so my uncle was like my father figure growing up, my uncle. And he did everything with me. He took me everywhere. I was like his little sidekick. But I said to her, you'll never guess where we are. You know, we're skydiving. So it was so fun, and what an experience that was.
I've done it a couple times, long time ago.
Yeah.
It was funny. I was trying to get a bunch of guys from here to do it, and maybe 5 or 6 said yes. Everyone was like, no way.
It's terrifying.
Pretty cool, right?
I don't know if I was more scared because Rocco and I were in the plane together.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was scarier watching him go first or knowing I had to go after. Like, I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I
Yeah.
would have a hard time watching one of my kids jump out of a
Oh
plane.
my God, I couldn't even talk. I
Yeah.
couldn't even talk. And you know when they're rappelling,
Yeah.
he's getting the click.
Yeah.
I'm like, get the extra click. You know when you're like on the roller coaster, I used to
Yeah.
always tell the kids, get the extra
Oh
click.
yeah, pushing it down.
I'm telling the guy,
One more click.
but come closer, make sure you get the click.
I remember when I jumped out of a place in Maine. It was Lebanon, Maine, like not far from like Portsmouth.
Yeah.
And we showed up there, and all the people that were running it looked like they had been like sleeping there overnight, and like everyone smelled like booze. I was like super nervous. I'm like, who's the pilot guy? It was like that guy over there. I'm like, that guy looks terrible. I don't want that guy flying me up. And we got in this like real shitty plane too. I'm like, we got to go up this thing. So the good thing about that was I couldn't wait to jump out of it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm going to fucking die if I stay on this plane. So that was why I was fine to jump out. I'm like, get me out. This plane's going down. But I thought it was incredible.
Yeah,
I thought it was incredible.
Then you watch the video before that tells you like how many times you're gonna die. You could die. This is something you could die.
Yep, everything you're signing is like, I'm probably going to die. If I die,
And I had two of
no
my kids with me.
liability.
I'm like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Just sign the paper. Just sign. We're gonna be fine.
Just sign it. We'll be okay.
We'll
And
be
you
fine.
were. You were.
We're fine.
Yeah, no, skydiving's fun though. We should go skydiving.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, I'll definitely go again. If Nicole will let me.
She'll let you. She'll let you. We'll get the team to go.
Yeah,
we'll
that'd
get the
be fun.
teams to go.
That would be wicked fun.
Wouldn't that be
I'd
fun?
be down with it. All right, so you're in the Army. You're
the
doing
Army.
all that awesome stuff, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, is that when you were working at Fidelity or not yet?
Not yet.
All right. So what were you
Liberty
doing?
Mutual.
Well, Liberty Mutual. That's right.
Yeah.
So what were you doing at Liberty Mutual?
I was kind of like an admin support.
Yep.
And then I will say this though, I like that wasn't good enough. So I applied for a job at Fidelity.
Yep.
And I got a great job. I mean, I had a great mentor boss. I mean, my boss was so great.
How old then?
So I was 21, 22.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was when the height of Fidelity was great. I mean, the parties were great. Mr. Johnson, it was just wonderful. I worked for, I was a support admin for the trading floor.
Okay.
But so I worked with a lot of the high level, portfolio managers, and so it was pretty great. Worked on a mergers and acquisitions team, and so it just kept like nothing was. But I just kept getting promoted.
Yeah.
So
was that like early 90s?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, yeah, because I got married in 97.
Yeah.
So when I first met Rocco, I was like being taken home in like limos from Boston Coach, and he was like, "Who's that?" So and he's out, and I'm like working overnight because we're working 24-hour shifts because we're working on these like mergers and acquisitions.
And you're like 22 years old at the time.
Yeah, 22, 23. Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
unbelievable. So
it was fun.
Where'd it go from there?
So once I got married, I decided. Well, we had Ariana.
Yep.
Right away.
Yep.
12 months later, we had Ariana. I was supposed to get to Italy. It didn't happen.
And so were you still living, where were you guys living at the time? Were you down in
Medford.
In Medford, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were in Medford, living in Stoneham.
Yep. And where were you living in Medford?
Stoneham. We lived in Stoneham. We lived in
Had you bought a house yet?
No.
Were you living in?
Actually, Rocco had a condo. I moved in with Rocco.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had a condo right on the Fellsway in Stoneham.
Yeah.
So we went there.
So people listening, right? And I think this is significant. That's why I'm interrupting here for a second. So I'm
trying to fast forward all this stuff.
But who are, one of the top real estate agents in the state of New Hampshire. Rocco, who is a, very well-known, successful builder, right? You guys have, beautiful home, beautiful family, all these great things, right? You started in a little condo on the Fellsway in Stoneham, right? And we're not talking, 500 years ago, right?
No.
30 years ago, right? So it goes to show you, not even.
No.
Right? It goes to show you what's possible, right? And too many people think that they can't do things. You can do whatever you want to do, and that's exactly what you guys have done.
Do you think too, though, I find lately, I feel like there's a level of expectation. A lot of people just expect. They expect, I don't know, I don't want to say wealth. They expect success. They expect everybody wants to be patted on the back. And it's just, instead of just finding the pride within yourself to do better and challenge yourself and to give somebody else something. See, I'm a giver, right? So it's really hard for me to receive. And anybody who knows me will tell you that. I can sit down and write something for another agent in a second, help them write something, a bio, how great they are. When I have to do something for myself, I just choke. I can't do it. I can fix someone else's problem in a second, my own. I can do my own, but I find it so much easier to help people than to accept help.
Well, sometimes you just look at it differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're working with somebody else, I feel that I do the exact same thing. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes it's hard. It's much easier to help somebody else than it's sometimes to even help yourself. Or you can always give the right advice to somebody else, but sometimes you have a hard time giving yourself that exact same advice. It's kind of tricky.
Yeah, but even if I said to you, you need help with anything, you'd be like, no.
Yeah.
You say to me, do I need help with anything? I say no.
No.
Right? You know. No, we got it. We got it. And you,
right? See? But I do though, right? Yeah. But certain people help me. You know what I mean? But I need to feel comfortable with that help before I'm ready to really have it. Like Rocco and Cassie on my team. They help me on the loan side. Angelina helps me with everything else. You know what I mean? But it took me a while to get to that point. You know what I mean? It took me 20 years to accept help from anybody.
Oh, no. So, yeah.
You know what I mean? Anybody at all. Yeah. I didn't even have anybody assistant D or anything to help me until just a few years ago. I was just doing everything myself, And I think that's a good thing, right? I think it's a good thing because that's how you learn how to do things well and you put in the hard work and you get comfortable with, like you were talking about, people expecting just to have whatever. You know what I mean? Whether it's success or wealth or blah, 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 whatever, right? Instead, just enjoy the journey along the way, and the journey is just hard work and putting it in and doing things for other people not being an asshole. You know what I mean? Like being kind. Seriously. And then good things happen.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're living on the Fellsway, right?
Living
On the Fellsway in Stoneham.
Yep.
Where do we go from there?
Yeah, we used to ride a Harley. Rocco used to have a Harley. So that was our venture out. We used to go out on the Harley a lot. And so Rocco had Dunkin' Donuts before, right?
Yeah.
So that's like a whole other story. But
it's a fantastic story, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm going to touch on it for 30 seconds.
Maybe you have him here.
I would love to. I would love
never.
to. I'll get some good wine. He'll come in. Talking about that hard work piece, he told me about that. He was an electrician in the city.
Yeah.
And him and his buddy, right?
Yeah.
Opened up the Dunkin' Donuts up in, is it Henniker or?
Claremont, New Hampshire.
Claremont.
Yeah.
And they would go up there like a week at a time, right?
Yeah, to make donuts.
Sleep there.
Yeah.
They go up there and just sleep there on the flour in the back.
Flour bags.
Right? Working 7 days a week and taking naps on the flour. That's hard work.
But he does know how to make donuts.
Oh, he still makes donuts?
No.
So did he have the Dunkin' Donuts then when you guys were together? Or
Yeah. When we got married, I begged him to sell them. We sold them at that point. It was too much. She was just gone all the time. It was hard. And I was pregnant with Ariana. So right when Ariana was born, we sold them. So he sold them in 98.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was always he was always into, he always had, I think he had his first multifamily when he was like 17 years old in Everett with 24% interest, or whatever that was back then. So, he had an 8-family. I remember another one in Everett when he was young. So he was always into real estate.
Always hustling.
But then he started building and he was always wanted commercial, and then he was into like corporate building. And so, it just goes on and on and on. So it doesn't stop. But he always wanted to do like home sale.
Yeah.
But our first house, we went on our honeymoon. We got married in 97. We've been married 25 years. Our first house was on Floral Street.
Mm-hmm.
He sold the house from me before we got home to go build. He was building the house.
So Floral in Windham?
Yeah, Floral in Windham.
I thought you guys lived in Bedford at one point.
We did, because I was working at Fidelity, and he was at Claremont, so I moved to Bedford to kind of lessen the commute for him.
So that was before that. That was before you were in. Okay. All right,
yeah,
right.
I know him all over the place. Yes. So then when then he sold them, right? Yep. So now we're back in Medford. We went to my mother-in-law's first floor.
So you had the house in Bedford. He sold that.
We were renting.
Oh, you were renting there, right? And then he was building one on Floral that he sold?
Yeah.
He was building it for you and then sold to somebody else?
Yeah.
And back to Medford you go.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. Back to Medford we go.
All right.
So that was our first house. That was supposed to be our house. We designed, back then, it was like 25 years ago, and I still drive by that house. I love that house. Yeah. It was so nice. Then he bought another lot. So of course he sold that one, and he bought on Easy Street. And that was our first house that we built and moved to Windham.
And that was the one you lived in for a while before you moved to the one you're in now, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's too funny. So how long did you live in the one on Easy Street?
I was like 7 years. Yeah, about 7 years. Yeah, 7 years.
And and at the time, you were still at Fidelity, or were you no longer at Fidelity?
Fidelity. I commuted for 2 years.
You were there for a long time, huh?
Yeah, my mother-in-law used to live with us. They were great to me, though. I worked like 12-hour days. Mm-hmm. I worked 3 12-hour days.
Yep.
And then my mother-in-law would stay those days and take the kids, and I'd come in the house and have little Rocco because he was born there, and then she'd go home. And then it got too much. It was too much for her, and then I stopped working. So I was fortunate enough to stay home with the kids while I raised them, so that was fun.
And so Rocco's what, 22? So somewhere around 2000?
Yeah.
Okay, around 2000. Yeah. And so your Rocco, he's building houses in town.
Yeah.
You're staying at home with the kids.
Yeah.
When did you get into real estate?
I had the license when we got married because he was in real estate, so I just got the license. But I didn't get into real estate until Maddie went to first grade. So she's a sophomore now in college. So like 15,
not even that long ago, if you think
15
about
years
it.
Ago,
right? If you think about it, 15 years is a while, but the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So 15, 16 years ago. And that was when you were with Verani at the time, right?
I was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it made sense. Like Rocco, he was doing all his building, and it was just like, well, if I have to go back to work now, I might as well go real estate, and I'll list the houses. So that just kind of made sense. So, which I learned a lot. I mean, so many people, like new construction I've been doing it for a long time. Yeah. And so when I'm working with all the builders, even with my clients, I go in, I'm like, I know how much those floors cost. That's ridiculous. My client's not paying that.
That's awesome, though.
Oh my gosh. I would say put down linoleum and we'll come in and take it out after. And I have my husband come in and put the hardwood floors down.
Right.
No, it's bad. Like there's some some stuff out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's some.
But it's good you have an eye for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I've heard the nonsense. People say, well, she sells all the homes that her husband builds, right? Well, no, you sell all the other ones too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you work with a ton of buyers and you know the market, and that's why you've done so well.
You know what's funny?
And you're nice.
Thank you. But no, what's funny is like I always thought that I wouldn't get other builders to work with me. And not that I go out and I don't seek them. I don't go out and seek, as I'm just too busy for that.
Right.
I work with 3 builders right now. And we have a couple subdivisions that are coming up. It is so awesome. Yeah. But I will say, all builders are very different, obviously. But it's fun. It's exciting. That's what I like about. I feel like not only I'm selling homes now, but I really enjoy the development part of it. It excites me, the marketing about it, the websites, and all of that. That I love. So
I know that excites you. Love that part.
I love it. Yeah. So I almost see a progression in that.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I think with the low inventory, I think what we're going to need is a lot more. I mean, really, we need more homes, right? Yeah. And I think we're going to have to build our way out of it.
Yeah, I think so.
So hopefully you can, make that happen.
And I think that's why new construction did so well, even down on like that Settlers Ridge area that we did. But
it's funny with that, right? So talking about that, because a lot of people that are looking now are looking new construction, right? So Settlers Ridge, the homes are very close together, right?
Yeah.
That's not everybody minds that, right?
Because everyone's from Boston.
Right, everybody's from Boston. That's like, my neighbors that live next door, they moved up from Milton, and he was telling me, he's like, I could see right into their kitchen from my kitchen. So these people being, 50, 60 feet away, that's great. It's like around here, people are like, oh, it's too close. No. And so all these different neighborhoods there's the right person for them, and that's where you guys come in and help them find what they're looking for.
Well, everyone has their own perceptions, their reality. Right. But you don't know their perception. You don't know their reality, so you don't know what they're thinking. So you're always cautious about saying, "Oh my gosh, they're so close," but they're not.
No. Yeah. It's all relative, and you can't assume you know what people are thinking. Yeah.
But it's interesting. It's not that we're making them closer. The towns are. That's the new zoning. They're making them smaller. They're making them closer together.
No. I know that, and the lots are long and narrow. So it is what it is. But all the developments that are going up now are selling out as fast as they can be built.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yep.
So hopefully we see more homes and blah, 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 all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So taking it back again. Verani for a bunch of years, then you went to Coco Early.
Yeah.
And were you a partner there right away, or was there some time?
Yeah, no. I became a partner right away. Yeah. And I opened the Wyndham office.
So that was when you went to Coco Early?
Yep. Right when I opened the Wyndham office, the original Wyndham office. God, you think I would know? So 22, like 8 years, 9.
Was the original one wasn't one above Heavenly?
It was. That was the original one.
Okay.
Yeah. We started there with 4 agents, and we grew to probably, I think it was like 18 agents. It was fun. It was a lot when, but I think Coco Early at that time was non-existent in Windham area.
No. Yeah.
But through, I truly believe like grassroots, like Cheryl Haas, big shout out to Cheryl Haas, the rec manager over at Wyndham. Love. But I love where I live. I really do. Yeah. I love our community.
Yeah, I do too.
I just think I call it pumpkin pie land. It's just the best place. And I think that anybody who's fortunate enough to raise their family here, it's amazing. It's a gift to the kids.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
So I did everything. Like I started the Easter egg. Well, Cheryl started it, but of course, like I'm like, how can we fix this? How can we do this? And then then you go to coloring contests and Easter egg hunts, and you just keep going and building on it. And even with Billy Joe Martin, when she did the race, I was one of her first. Like when we did the first one, and now here we are all these years later, and we're still giving out waters, and it's grown so much. It's amazing to see the community grow.
Just got the email from her yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's incredible, and you've done a lot, with the community, and everybody knows it. You know what I mean, and we all appreciate it. It's pretty cool, and I've tried to model myself off a lot of that stuff that you're doing.
Well,
so good work.
No, it's exciting. You know what I feel? I'm actually honored and humbled at the same time when I go to whether it be you're at a planning board meeting or something, and they know you and they say thank you, or and it's good. That's what it is. You always be truthful, and you be kind to everybody, and you work with everybody, and you don't do something to get something in return.
Nope, ever.
So I think that always comes back and pays forward.
Yeah, I mean, you said it before. You're what's that phrase? You give to get, or you give and get, whatever it is. By giving, you receive. You know what I mean? That's why it's always the right thing to do. Talking about that Windham office, I've used this as an example before to a lot of the loan officers here. Do you remember that I would just come in there and just kind of hang around and wait until you would talk to me?
That's what I that's what I say. Like, how many years ago?
That's exactly what I would do. Yeah. I was like, well, I want to work with her, and I don't really know her, and so I'm just going to go in and keep hanging around there until she talks to me. You know what I mean? And I remember it took a while. I would go up and I would talk to. It was either well,
not that long. It wasn't.
No, not that long. But you know what I mean. Like, I'm not one of these sales guys that's going to go in and that's just not my personality.
But that's what I liked so much about you because I don't like that feeling.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started. It's you almost like they gravitate to you, and it's just like, oh, that's who we want to talk to her, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's weird.
No, so I almost hung around until you were like you. Just wanted to talk to me. You know what I mean? And I would go up and I would talk to Kelly. It was Kelly, or who was the other front desk person at the time? Was it? It
wasn't Doreen.
It was Doreen.
It was Doreen.
Yep. And I'd go in and I'd just hang around, bullshit with them. I'd fake that I need to restock my cards on the thing, And eventually people would start talking to me,
It wasn't going anywhere.
No, I wasn't leaving. And I remember the first handful of times we talked, I went into your little tiny crowded office in there and we would just kind of bullshit. You know what I mean? Yeah. I wasn't going in saying, "Hey, give me the business." No, we were just talking, get to know each other. Because my whole thing has always been, I want to do business with people that I like. You know
As
what
in
I mean?
real estate, people want to work with people they like, and they don't want to be sold.
Right?
They want to go shopping.
Yes,
with their friends.
Absolutely, right? And that's what it becomes. Yeah. So we started off that way, and it's been great ever since.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, it really has. So you were there for you just went out on your own January 6th.
Yep.
Right. So co-early all those years, everything was great. You went on your own this year. Yeah. Tell us about the DiPietro Group now.
I'm so excited.
We made it here.
We did. We made it. So I'm so blessed. It's so funny. So Nicole Matos, she was my assistant for 6 years. Mm-hmm. And she's still with me. And it's so funny. People will say she's a mini me. She is but she's learned from me. She's I run things by her. After you've been with her for so long, you kind of think alike, so you talk, and she knows, I don't know, whether it be what kind of marketing I like, or graphic I like, or colors, so, but I've been so fortunate, Christine Carey and Joe Carey, dear friends of mine. She started 6 years ago. Billy Eckert, same thing. I have so many connections with my team that it's amazing. It's such
awesome.
Different, very different.
It's great to have people on your team that you're not just working with them. Yeah, you're friends with them, and you enjoy them, and you enjoy spending time with them. I feel the exact same way here about all these guys in this room and everybody out there, and that's what makes a good company and a good organization, willing to help people, help each other.
But it's interesting. In this business, I feel like a lot of offices. It's hard. I don't want to say one bad apple ruins the bunch, but it's true.
Oh, it can.
So you have to have people who are genuinely care the same as you, or it doesn't work. It will fall apart.
No, you need to get rid of those apples.
Yeah,
when that happens, unfortunately. Yeah. But it's addition by subtraction. And that's.
We want people who are going to contribute to the team, but also that I want people there out working that care for our clients and are a representation of what my beliefs are and who I am as a person as far as how my clients do. So that's real important.
And it seems like everybody you have now you've got a great group of people.
I do.
You really do. How many agents do you have on the team?
12 right now.
12? Nice.
12 right now.
Are we gonna add more?
There's a few more. I want to be very selective.
Yeah.
But I want, I can, what it is, I can develop. I have 2 younger agents that are amazing. Jenny DiPietro. Yeah. Everyone thinks she's my daughter, but she's not. D-E and D-I.
Spelled differently.
Yeah, spelled differently. But she's doing phenomenal. She's helping us out with our graphics and our social media, but she's learning so much. I look at her, you're great at growing people. Yeah, I will say that's one thing. You find talents in people. And I feel like with Jenny or with these younger agents that want to learn, I want to take them.
Yeah.
Like Joey Pantaleo. Oh my God.
Yeah, Joey's great.
Love that kid.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I love all the agents, but like there's like I almost want to mother him sometimes. Like, what are we doing? Let's do this.
Funny.
Let's
That's what kind of happens, especially with younger people. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
the best.
What did I say to you yesterday talking about Rocco, right? I was asking you a question about your husband, Rocco, and I said, no, I'm talking about your Rocco, not my Rocco. And then I'm like, wait, they're both your Roccos. No, but that's what happens. You almost become like, you feel almost like parental to them, and you want to help them, and you want good things for them. Yeah. You know, and I think that's because you're a good person.
It's so rewarding when it happens.
It's awesome. Yeah. I love watching people grow and do better.
Yeah.
You know, and what I've found here, and you'll find, especially with these, you know, 'cause they're both very young, but like as you go, you watch them then buy houses. I think Joey's buying a house. You know, buy houses and get married and have kids, and like I've watched that with a whole bunch of people here now because we've been in business, I think 6 or 7 years.
And how many employees do you have here now?
I think we just hit 50.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I think we just hit 50 because we hired a couple new loan officers. But yeah, it's awesome and it's fun. And, you know, you create a culture where everybody really cares about one another and you have a real tight group, and then you love going to work.
Yeah, everyone loves to go. It's so funny. When we were in our temporary space up at Cocorelli, when I was not being a partner, you saw my office. Yeah. I was in the middle, and everybody was around me. Everyone wants to be in my office. Yeah. It was like I had the small space, and everybody was on top of each other. It was fun, though.
Yeah, it's great.
It's fun, yeah.
Tell us about your new office.
Amazing. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. So it's 1B Wall Street.
Yep.
Suite 206, so it's upstairs. So, you know, the building next to CVS?
Yep.
It's upstairs on the second floor.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It's wide open. So I'm going more modern. So not like we're going to do like some booths and some high top openness. So
it's going to look beautiful.
I can't wait. Yeah, it's really,
everything
really
you do
cool.
is awesome.
Really cool. I think we're probably going to be in by the end of the month.
This month?
End of this month.
Get out of here.
Yeah. It won't be 100% decorated and everything how I want.
Get in at least.
But I can get most of it in all the cabinets. We had this like gorgeous cabinetry built. And so there's really some fun elements in there. Yeah. We kind of mimicked a lot, some things off of like Ryan Serhant. He has a beautiful New York office that's just phenomenal. So we kind of took a couple little tweaks from that idea. So
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, so lights, but it's so funny. I'm driving everybody crazy that you go in the light switch is not in the right space. This is gone. There's no chandelier. Oh my God, my husband wants to kill me.
Yeah, but you know what? It's because you want it to be done right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want it to look beautiful when it's done and be something different. Yeah. And that's what you've always done. You do things different. You do things.
Nothing's fine. It has to be extra.
I like extra. See? You know? And if you're going to do something, let's do it.
Do it right.
You know what I mean? Let's go over the top and make it awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So where are we going from here? What are we doing? What's the vision for the DiPietro Group?
You know, I really want to provide the highest level of service like no other. I mean, that's always been my goal. And that's kind of what I've always strived to do. But everyone will strive to do that as well on the team. That's the biggest focus. But I want to be that go-to. I want to be that, you know, I want the group to grow. You know, there's a lot of subdivisions that we have coming. I want everybody to be up to par. I want everybody, but you know, I want everyone to be focused on the clients because it's their experience. Yep. And through our business right now, I'll say my business has grown, and we are very fortunate right now through reputation and referrals. Yeah. And not, you know, cold calling. And it's part of the business. It's natural. They have to do it, you know, Zillow and stuff. But your business comes within. And when you do a good job and befriend people, that's how you'll go. Like our client appreciation event. I mean, come on, how many people did we have? Yeah. We had 125 people that came out for a night. Yep. It was amazing. That was amazing. That was one of the, looking around that room with all those people that were there with us, it was just incredible.
And for those of you that haven't seen or didn't see that on social media, we rented out the tent over at the castle, Searles Castle last October 15th, right?
Yeah.
I think it was. Had a band, had, door prizes, bar, food, a great night, just to genuinely show our appreciation for all of our clients, and it's the right thing to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have any of the success that we've had, so. And what I loved about you is you're just as nuts as me when it comes to doing things and having them be completely over the top. Yeah.
But you know what, though? So many people wanted to go.
Yeah.
They wanted to come see. Like, they were friends. That's amazing in this business.
I think next year we'll have even more.
Yeah, we are. We're going to have to take reservations. We're going to do, yeah. We already said. People are like, well, how do I get on the list? How do I get on the list?
Right?
Yeah, it was fun.
I don't know, buy a house and use me for your loan. That's easy. No big deal.
No, but it's limited. So we're going to have to, like space is limited. They're going to have to do I think we're going to have to reserve spaces this year.
Well, that'd be awesome. Yeah. And it's fun. You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff that's fun. You got to be different. You know what I mean? You're not just, ABC real estate agent that isn't going to take care of the clients, isn't going to show them a good experience. Even with, my mom, right? So you helped my mom when when she bought her house in town, right? And she wanted to see a house. I remember a place down in Middleton, a month ago or whatever. And I think it was like some shitty weather day or something was going on. And you're like, yep, no problem. Let's go, And that's what you always do. And people recognize that and see it and appreciate it. So you're very well respected, and people appreciate all the all the going above and beyond that you do. You know
what I think with too in this market, people are, agents are pushing. I'm finding because being more of a listing agent than a buyer's agent, pushing their clients to make offers on houses just because there's 10 people, you're going to multiple offers, you're going to miss out. And I always tell people, take a pause and just like relax. And if that house is meant to be, you'll know it. Like you can't. You'll be so sad, you'll be disappointed in the end result. Like really just take that time. And I tell someone it's okay. Like they'll say, oh, I'm so sorry I didn't like it. It's okay. We'll find you that house. You want to be you want to be happy in the home. Well, that's what you want.
Even that approach there, it's about the client. Yeah. And what I've seen, is some real estate agents, I think, unfortunately, and these aren't like the really good ones like yourself and some others that I know, but like some are just trying to push to get an offer accepted so they can either move on or they want to get a deal closed. And again, it's more about them than it is about the client. It's like your job is to work with clients to, help them find a house. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you're working with a buyer, if you need to show them 30 houses, you need to show them 30 houses.
It's interesting though too. I'm sure it's in your business as well. So when I first started here, there was a couple players in the field, right? Yeah. And I feel like they didn't change anything. And even in town, like when I'm in town, I'm all over everywhere. I'm my time, donating my time, but I love it though. I really do like the events. I do like the events and changing them up. Or even when I was at the co-op, when I was doing fundraising there, when I was a Girl Scout leader, like I had my Girl Scouts had to go for the bronze award, and I had them out camping and Christine was actually one of my troop leaders.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I used to drive.
See, I didn't know that. I know you were a Girl Scout.
I used to drive everybody crazy. And it's so funny. Even now, I'm like, hey guys, I have a great idea. Everyone runs. Oh. Everyone goes in different directions. And then we call Ed and say, Ed, we have a great idea.
Yeah. No, I like it when you say it. I'm like, I can't wait to hear it. It's going to be something cool. You always come up with great ideas, So let's close on this. I want you to tell me what you would tell somebody or even what you've told, some of the younger people on your team or, somebody who's growing up and doesn't have a whole lot and wants to possibly look to improve their situation. What are some good words of wisdom that you would give somebody who wants to get going and kind of be successful and kick ass in whatever they do?
I think no matter what you do, you can't do anything mediocre. You have to do, and it's going to carry through life, no matter what it is. Mm-hmm. Anything you do is worth doing to the extreme, whatever it may be. Yep. So you have to find that within yourself. And you look at someone who doesn't want to work hard or doesn't want to, run the extra mile or stay up the extra hour to study, or it will continue no matter what you do in your life. Yep. So which is sometimes good and bad because, I can never just do something, I'm like, why can't I ever just do something like calmly? No, it got to be like crazy, Right. Even my family says it. She's so crazy, but I like crazy. Yeah. Crazy's fun to me. I don't like quiet. I get nervous. I like crazy. So, which is
and they all love you to death because you do those things. No, seriously, you do those things, and that are above and beyond. Yeah. And you're 1,000%. And we didn't even talk about this. And aren't you running a half marathon like in the next couple of weeks?
Next Sunday.
Right, next Sunday. Right. So with all this other shit she's got going on, selling all the homes in town, working on building out a new office, starting a company, training all of her other team members, planning all these other events in town. She's just mixing in, 6-7 miles a day running.
Well, the problem was, like, we got selected. It was kind of like a joke. You know,
Yeah.
you're out one night having a few drinks,
Yeah.
and so everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go enter into the New York Half Marathon."
I don't say that when I'm out having a few drinks.
I did. I said, I well, I said I would do it. I said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. What are the chances? Like, there's thousands and thousands of entries, and I get picked. I open my email and I see
Why? Because you had to like enter?
in the lottery. Yes. This is like a coveted position, and I'm taking one. I feel almost guilty doing this.
Who else are you running with?
Jess O'Neill.
Okay, so
State Farm.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So Jess is running it with you?
Yeah, and her husband Peter.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Very
So
nice.
we're the only three. There were 6 of us that were going to do it last in 2020.
Yeah.
And I was ready. I would say I was almost ready for it.
Yeah.
Now I'm not so sure. I mean, I'm trying. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I'll
you'll be
finish.
fine. You'll
I'll
do
finish.
it. You'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you the best of
Just
luck in
gotta
that.
find it within.
That's it. And you just got to keep fucking moving. That's it. In anything you do, and do it the best you can, and work super hard. All these things that I say all the time on this podcast, but I mean it. And if the people that are listening haven't, noticed the theme here, every person that's on here has the same type of message: determination, hard work, don't give up, give it all you got. Don't be fucking mediocre. Mediocrity sucks. It's so much better to be a winner and go over and above, right? So I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate you on a work side, but whatever, that's secondary.
Oh, me too.
I think you're an awesome person. You're kicking ass, and I love to see it. And I can't wait to see what the DiPietro Group does.
Me too. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
The mic drop.
Subscribe to success.